Yes, I'm pleased to be here. I worked for 20 years in the natural resource sector for major corporations. I worked for mining, metallurgy, forest product company. And the last 3 years, I was a VP Sustainability and Environment for Abitibi Bowater, forest product company. And I've been approached to start up this new cluster and hopefully to lead it. But it was a pretty big switch for me from a major corporation to go to a not-for-profit organization. I should not say that because BTB is under Chapter 11. They're looking for money, but I'm not sure they're profitable. But anyway, so I started in September, so it's 6-7 months now, and I want to go through with you what we tried to do and what we have in mind in terms of design of a clean tech cluster in Quebec. First, there's 3 other clusters in Quebec, and one for aerospace, biotech, and the third one for IT, but they're mainly located in the greater Montreal. So Ecotech is really the newborn of the cluster in Quebec. So I want to use this opportunity also to get your advice, your feedback, especially in BC. You're pretty ahead of the curve. So a little bit of history, if you want. At the beginning, 5 years ago, there were studies made by Montreal and other organizations, and they say, we want to have a cluster on environment. Well, this raised a lot of questions and concern by other environmental groups saying, no, we are the cluster, not another layer. We don't want a competitor for our revenue or visibility. So after a couple of other analyses, they said, oh, we have an idea. It's going to be clean tech. So a niche, clean tech. Well, then people were less concerned. That's good, because they see an opportunity for Quebec to develop this new sector. Mind you that we still have some opposition, even though that it's a clean tech cluster, even within the government structure. But anyway, we're here, and one way that we want to reduce this opposition is to have those groups on board, on the board of Ecotech Quebec, because I really think that these groups, they're going to play a very constructive role moving on. So Ecotech, we spent 7 months finding the name. Now, it's pretty easy. After a couple of beers, we come up with this name. And also because Ecotech in French means clean tech. So here you are, pretty easy, eh? No, I think it's after 4 beers. The objectives, cohesion, synergies. That's the 2. We want to develop the full potential of clean tech in Quebec, because what we think is Quebec can be a center of excellence for clean tech in North America, like BC. So we want to amplify, we want to accelerate the pace of innovation and act like an agent of change. So that's good, but how about clean tech in Quebec so far? Well, we're like BC, 1,000 companies. Well, in many sectors, and you can question if they're really clean tech per se, but we have 1,000 employees that are active in some way in clean tech. So, but we want to bring some of them as world-class company. Our ecosystem, similar to everyone, we need to have on board all the actors, and not only the small companies, but the big industrial companies, because they are the enablers for the adoption of clean technology. Then after saying so, someone told me or asked me, Denis, what type of footprint you're going to have? My answer was carbon neutral, sir. He said, no, 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 no. What type of activities, of scope, of what you're going to do? It's a good question. So what we've done is some benchmarking. So we check, unfortunately, the Clean Works BC website was not on at that time. So we started to check others, Marsh and Toronto. Of course, STDC. Then we check and we find those other organizations in New England. I cannot read there. In New York. Oops. Then San Diego, San Jose, Los Angeles, Colorado, Louisiana, California, New York, Silicon Valley, even Boston and Israel Clean Tech Alliance, which is kind of a cluster. So pretty good. But this is North America. Let's go, move on. Stockholm, the green capital of Europe this year. Copenhagen, Austria, Finland, London, Germany, Switzerland, Scandinavia, Australia, Australasia. Then, I couldn't read that one, in China. And then we find some other groups that are involved in clean techs, like Clean Tuesday from Paris. Of course, from Paris, they needed an English name. Clean Tuesday in Paris. Clean Thursday. If you missed the Clean Tuesday in Paris, you can go to Shanghai for Clean Thursday. So that's very interesting. We also went to, this is not free advertisement, be honest. Yeah, dinner tonight. This is Clean Tech Group. I want you to focus on the bottom right. Who is one of the key sponsors? Government of Ontario. Very interesting approach by Ontario. So we look at that, and we come back with the footprint or activities. What are we going to do? Well, there's it's like there are two families of activity. The first one of my friends called it the Chamber of Commerce way. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board, so I cannot say that. But it's a type of networking, information sharing, training, get people together, build the network. That's one thing. The other one is, like in Finland, project type, project management. They really focus on the value chain. They're checking the viability of that change, and if there's a missing part, well, they're trying to fill it up. So that's project type. So we decided that between the two, we're going to be doing the two. So we'll have the Chamber of Commerce section and also the project management type. Because that's what the industry was telling us. We need more knowledge. We need ways to network. We need a new organization that's going to work on project, make things happen, and also create partnerships, because we need to create partnerships. In order to build this momentum and to accelerate the rate of clean tech, we want to make sure that in Quebec, we're going to have the right conditions for our companies to win a medal, if I can take the analogy of the Olympic Games. And I'll continue to take this analogy of Olympic Games. What we need is a program like On the Podium. It worked here. Huh? It worked. Congratulations, Vancouver and BC. You know, you did a very good job in welcoming people, but also financially, government put together money to own the podium. Well, we need to have a similar program for clean tech. How are we going to do that? Because one thing is, for sure, the expectation, at least in Quebec, is we need to have winners. We need to have world-class company in order to win medals. But we don't want to do it alone in Quebec. The idea is to build partnership. First, I'm building partnerships with the other clean tech in Quebec. Actually, we're going to build a cluster of the cluster, or a cluster center, whereas all the clusters in Quebec is going to be under the same roof. We want to build collaboration between the clusters. That's one way. The other one is to work with our neighbors. And one of the neighbors is BC. How can we partner to develop our companies and business to win the gold medal? It's called competition. We need cooperation, even though that we're in competition for some aspects. So we need to develop this type of mindset. And I think it's that way. It's not with the custom and frontier that, with that in mind, that we're going to do something. We need to have open innovation and open partnership. Talking about partnership, we want also to move from Canada, if I can move, to bring other partners, not only in Canada. We need to develop that type of partnership internationally. And one of the ways that we have in mind, not that we have in mind, Nick Parker, I talked to Nick before. I said, Nick, I'm going to say, I have a dream. We're going to do that. He said, don't say that. Say, we're doing it. So I am announcing today, my boss doesn't know, that next year in Montreal, it's the EcoCity World Summit in August 2011. Well, what we're going to do, I would say what we want, what we're going to do is to bring in Montreal the clean tech clusters of the world to come and discuss and exchange ideas and best practices and establish a network of business between the cluster to really live that competition. So I'm inviting you all and all the clusters to come to Montreal. And I know in the room there's Alain Brissette. He's the coordinator of this Eco World Summit. Alain, if you raise your hand, you're somewhere. OK, he's right there. So he has all the information, not about the clean tech, but about the Eco Summit. So this would be an happening where we can build more partnerships with the other clusters. Is it too ambitious after 7 months? No video yet. No office. When I started, no office, no computer, no business card, no telephone. Not that bad for a major corporation guy. But you know what? It's fun because it's working. If clean works in BC, clean works also in Quebec. Thank you very much.